Good evening, everyone. I am CA Sukhshit Khanna, moderator of this VCM. We are pleased to welcome you all in the 32nd VCM of the series 360-degree Learning Series, being organized by Continuing Professional Education Committee of ICAI. It is my pleasure to be a moderator of this session on VCM on GST implication in online gaming and ESOPs or tax implication. In a short while, we will start this VCM. I would like to apprise you about CPE committee. The increasing globalization, continuing developments in the field of finance, and frequent changes in the world economic order have posed numerous challenges before the accounting profession worldwide. These challenges have significant implications on the growth and development of our profession and simultaneously have more expectation from the profession as a whole. It is indeed the responsibility of the professional bodies to provide members with adequate facilities and opportunities to meet the challenges thrown by the dynamic environment by continuously enhancing their knowledge, skills, and professional values. With this vision, the CPE Committee of ICI has been organizing a number of programs with the help of our program organizing units. The program of this evening is as follows. We have two sessions of 1.5 hours each, and topics are, first topic is GST on GST, implication in online gaming industry. And the second topic is ESOPs, tax implication for new age startups, corporates, and employees. Our eminent speakers will talk about above mentioned two emerging areas of professional interest. Now, I would like to introduce and invite our worthy chairman of Hisar branch of NIRC of ICAI for address and talk about what branch is doing for CPE learning. Over to Bharatji.
Thank you, Sukhjit ji. I would like to first of all welcome our today's speaker of the day, Mr. Rajat Mohan ji and Om Raj Purohit ji. Welcome you all, sir. And I would also like to thank C. Sujit ma'am ji, who have spared the time today for this webinar. I would like to introduce my branch is doing in this year we have done around 120 hours of CPR program. In the last 3 years, the highest program this year we have done. And in this month, we have done all around 12 CPR programs. And the branch on this platform, I would like to also tell the branch is going to organize on 1 January a badminton tournament for students. And this is also will be a very good tournament. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. I would like to introduce our vice chairman of CPE committee of ICI, that is CA Charanjot Singh Ji Nanda, for the opening remarks. Before that, I would like to read a brief profile of CA Nanda Ji. CS Nanda sir is the chairman of Internal Audit Standard Board and Committee of Management Accounting and vice chairman of CPE committee. He is very experienced practicing chartered accountant and is practicing in the different fields. With the commitment to serve the profession, he has been a member of SEBI, SAFA committee and IRDA steering committee. As an avid speaker, he shares his knowledge in India and abroad at various events organized by the ICAI and the other reputed institutes. I think Mr. Nandaji has not arrived yet. As soon as he will arrive, we will definitely hear his remarks, his opening remarks over this event. Now, I would like to invite our speaker, Mr. CA Rajat Mohan ji, for his deliberation. Before that, I will read out a small profile of Mr. Rajat Mohan ji. CA Rajat Mohan ji is a qualified CA and CS. He is also a member of ASSOCHAM National Council on Indirect Taxes, Indirect Tax Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce, FMCG Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce, He has authored more than half a dozen books on indirect taxes, GST being his forte with publishers like Tax Sutras, Walters Cover, and Bhartla's House. His books has gained wide popularity in India and internationally also. He is a regular contributor of articles on GST, which are published on several online portals and in the columns of reputed tax journals and magazines. His views are well respected by media, which is the reason that his name is placed regularly in national dailies and top-notch online news portal, including Times of India, Economic Times, Hindustan Times, Indian Express, The Hindu, Financial Express, NDTV, and various others. He worked on GST implementation and transition for various multinational corporations and big Indian business houses. He has conducted workshops and trainings for more than 5,500 professional and corporate executives on GST. Now I invite our eminent speaker, CA Rajat Mohan ji, for deliberation of his session on GST implication in online gaming industry. I would also like to inform you that, sir, that there are around 1,000 participants have joined this through separate online platforms. So queries would be taken in the last 10 to 15 minutes session. Mr. CA Rajat Mohan ji, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Respected Kimsha Soni ji in absentia, Charanjot Singh Nanda ji, Vice Chairman in absentia, Bharat Jain ji, Sukhjit Khanna ji, my co-speaker Om Raj Purohit, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Application in online gamings. We have a session till 6:30, and in last 15-20 minutes, we will be happy to take down all your queries, issues, questions on this topic. Please keep on posting. And now this is a sector specific, so we will be touching upon the basics also, but in a very short manner. We'll try to jump on the transitional impacts and the issues that industry is facing. So I have divided my entire presentation in 7 to 8 parts. Introduction, current indirect tax implications, GST basics, we'll spend only 5-7 minutes. Transaction wise impact of GST, bonus and promotions. What is GST Council saying? What is my group of ministers saying? So starting from introduction, 1940 was the period when the first online gaming was unveiled. And 1990 saw the worldwide boom of online gaming. Indian laws have been evidently differentiated between game of skill and game of chance. So we will be discussing this in a lot of detail. What is a game of skill and what is a game of chance? Offering of money in game of chance is strictly prohibited in India and are criminal offences as stated in Public Gaming Act and Prize Competition Act. However, games of skill, respected Nandaji, Vice Chairman is here. We welcome you, sir.
Very good evening, all ladies and gentlemen. I've just stepped in. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are now audible.
Great. Rajat, you can proceed. I wanted to welcome all the participants in today's great session, running 2 sessions of contemporary importance.
Nandaji, your voice was breaking. We was not able to hear you properly.
Okay, now I just wanted to say that I was traveling, therefore I got a bit late in joining. So my heartiest compliments to all the participants who have joined home. They can go home more enlightened and put to rest all the doubts that may arise in ESOPs or in GST. So over to you all. Please carry on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Rajat, the dice is all yours. Please go ahead.
Perfect, sir. Perfect. I'll be sharing my presentation once again. So 1990 saw a worldwide boom on online gaming, and I have already said that game of skill and game of chance is differently treated in India. Per se, game of chance is not allowed in India. It's a criminal activity, and there are two legislations which I have quoted. If we go back to entry number 34 and 62 of list to 7th schedule Constitution of India, we'll see that probably the betting and gambling, formulating a law around it, as well as formulating a taxation of betting and gambling, is kept with the state authorities. So first of all, whether the tax has to be imposed or not, whether the activities per se are permitted or not, it is entirely in the ambit of state. Central cannot make any law on it. Similarly, the taxation on betting and gambling is not permitted under GST, because for GST both the powers have been given to state as well as center. But under entry 62, the power has been given only to state government. So this is some data about how many people are getting employed and how many people are playing online gamings, and around 510 million people are there in 2022 who are ready to play. As of now, online gaming is not regulated by government. There are three self-regulatory bodies: FISF, TORF, AIGF, All India Gaming Federation. So I think All India Gaming Federation is the biggest association on this body. Now coming to the revenue models, ideally there are 4 to 5 revenue models. First of all, advertising income. Any online gaming company earns maximum through the advertising income. Next is a small in-game purchases. When you are playing a game, you need to have a bonus point or you need to buy a gun. So those small purchases inside the game are given to you. Next is you are allowed to play free, and whenever you want to upgrade the game, the sum you are required to pay some charges. And the last thing that we discuss is industry wide, the maximum amount is being charged as a platform fees, whereby you are given a platform to play and the company giving you the platform will charge you a platform fee. It may be a standard fee of 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 20 rupee, or it most probably it is a percentage of the total value of the amount that you bet in the game. So these are the revenue models. Let us see the pre-GST scenario in online gaming sector. Again, there are two types of games. First is a game of skill, and another is a not a game of skill, or we can say game of chance, or lottery betting and gambling. So lottery betting and gambling was not chargeable to service tax, because again it was a state subject and states were liable to put it under tax. Whereas the game of skill, which is not a game of a chance, it was liable to service tax. It was permitted. It is not a prohibited activity. It is a permitted activity, and it is liable to service tax. So this was the pre-GST scenario. If I stretch it further in the post-GST scenario, it is very clear the game of skill, which was earlier chargeable to service tax, would now be chargeable to GST, and lottery betting and gambling would not at all be chargeable to GST. It still has to be chargeable to the state laws only. So now the biggest question is, what is game of skill and what is game of chance? So first of all, please don't think that this is a GST query. If any game is a game of a chance, it is not per se permitted in India. It is not per se permitted under various state laws. There's a lot of litigation going on this. So this is not a litigation of GST or service tax or VAT. This is the litigation which every state authority tries to prove that the particular game is a game of chance, thereby prohibiting the same. Whereas a person who has initiated, or I'll say who is a platform, he wants to prove that it is a game of a skill. So Dr. K.R. Lakshmanan versus State of Tamil Nadu is the landmark ruling. I suppose it is given by Supreme Court of India, in which it was said the words mere skill will include games which are predominantly of skill nature, meaning thereby the Supreme Court said there cannot be a game which is based merely on skill, or there cannot be a game which is merely based on chance. We cannot have two extremes. We'll always have a combination of two. But if in a particular game the predominant part is a game of a skill, then we can always say that the game belongs to the game of skill and it is not a game of a chance. and they have laid down two very, very important points. The competition where success, so first point, the competitions where success depends on substantial degree of skill will not fall into the category of gambling. जहां पे बहुत ज्यादा skill चाहिए, जहां पे there is a substantial degree of skill required, it will not be gambling, despite there being still an element of, even if there is a chance, still it will not be computed as a game of chance, it will be computed as a game of a skill only. Thereby, games which satisfy the test of skill will not be regulated under gambling legislation, meaning thereby it will not be prohibited under state law. You will be permitted to take up such games. Supreme Court also said that horse racing is a sport which primarily depends on the ability, special ability acquired during the training. It depends upon the speed and stamina of the horse, acumen of the jockey, expert knowledge of the jockey, and thereby betting on horse racing is not a game of a chance, but it is a game of a skill. Thereby, again, horse racing is permitted. We see in Maharashtra, there is betting on horse. We see in Bengaluru, there is betting on horse racing. So these are not games of chance; these are games of skill. State of Andhra Pradesh is another case law, and we all play rummy. So in this, it was said that the game of rummy is not entirely a game of chance. If we have said in Lakshmanan, what the point is, if the game is entirely of the chance, then it is prohibited, otherwise it is not. Rummy, they said it is not entirely a game of chance. The rummy requires you to memorize, which is a skill in itself. Thereby, a skill is required to play this game. When a skill is required, thereby the predominant nature is skill, and it will not be a chance. The third case law that I have covered, it is primarily with regard to the GST query. I think the ruling is in 2020. Yes, Ravinder Singh Chaudhary. It is the famous case of Dream 11, in which it was said that, so Dream 11, everyone knows this, the companies like Dream 11, MPL, and you are required to pick up and select cricketers from various teams all over the world, batsmen, bowlers, wicket keeper, formulate a team, and then you play in that game, right? So in this case, it was said that this selection of cricket teams is not a mere game of chance, but it is required to understand the skill of each player while selecting their team, analyzing their performance, analyzing the data, and then a team is chosen and required to play for your own behalf. Thereby, again, Dream 11 model, which is the selection of players and they being playing, it is not a game of chance, it is a game of skill. So very, very briefly, let me touch upon these important GST basic concepts. There are 5 important concepts in the GST: supply, value of supply, time of supply, place of supply, HSN rate, and tax rates. So supply means all forms of supply, whether goods or services, including sale, barter, transaction, lease, lease, disposal, anything done for a consideration in the course of business or profession has to be supply. Coming to the value of supply. So value of supply, section 15 defines that the value of supply shall be the transaction value, the price which is actually paid or payable. This is the amount on which GST needs to be charged. This is what section 15 says. However, it's very, very important to understand what does my rule 31A says. My rule 31A says, because this is a delegated legislation and they will go into more into procedural aspects. So the procedural aspects of determining transaction value in the cases of lottery, betting, gambling, and race horsing is defined to be the 100% of the face value of the bet amount or the amount paid into a totalizer. So think about a case whereby I am betting on a horse rupees 100. Then in this case, my actual bet would be reduced by 18% because 18% has to go as a tax. So if I bet 100 rupees, I cannot bet 100 rupees. I have to pay to the totalizer 118, that is 18% extra GST. 18% will go to the government of India. No one be able to claim input tax credit of the same because this is not a business for me. This may be a business for the totalizer, and then he'll deposit the same. I'll not get input tax credit. and my actual bet on the horse will only be 100, meaning thereby of the total turnover, my gross margin 18% is immediately. So as a better, the entire game will become expensive to me by 18%. So whether I win or whether I lose, I always lose 18% of my gross amount, right? And not only me, if I lose, then I lose the entire 118. There is no problem. But if I win, so I win back not 118, but I'll win back only 100 rupees because 18% has already. And not only my money, but the entire money collected by the totalizer, it will be reduced by the 18%. So this is a big problem. So Bangalore Turf Club filed a writ in Karnataka High Court, and this landmark judgment, Karnataka High Court declared that this rule is entirely incorrect. 31 capital A3 is ultra virus the regime. The GST cannot be levied on the gross amount. GST has to be levied on the net amount, the net value added, etc., etc. And there are a number of reasons that these guys gave, and they said this is not allowed. Of course, the department is in Supreme Court. No decision has been taken. So this is what the supply will be there for. But remember, our case is a game of skill and not a game of a chance. If it is a lottery betting gambling, the person, it is not allowed. So, but betting, gambling, and horse racing, this is what these guys have said. Time of supply. So time of supply of services, everyone knows, it's very, very clear. In case invoice has been issued, then the date of issue of invoice. If the invoice has not been issued, the date of completion of services. Place of supply. So place of supply, when I am playing an online gaming, so there are two places of supply. One is a common rule which says if the services are being rendered to a registered person, if I am playing a game, I cannot be a registered person because online gaming portal per se, I am saying, will not permit you to punch your GST numbers because businesses cannot play games. These games are for individual satisfaction. So per se, registered person would not be playing a game, and thereby this is not relevant. Unregistered persons will play a game, and again there are two rules. If the address of the person playing the game is available on record, then in such case location of the recipient. In case the person playing the game is not available on record, so address of that person is not available on record, then the location of supplier itself. But I have dealt with number of online gaming companies, and I'll tell you, they are very, very clear about these KYCs. The moment you open an account, they need your Aadhaar, they need your PAN, they need your address proof, they need your photos, they need your basic details. So the actual address is always available on record. Otherwise, they will not allow you to open the account itself. Yes, many a times the address is incorrect. The address is not updated, the address is old, but in any case, the address is available and taxes has to be paid to that. So guys, this was the basic part. Now let me just enter the transaction wise GST impact. So online gaming companies, so there can be numerous models. So I have picked up a model. We'll discuss the same. We'll understand the entire GST, and then we'll replicate against, we'll be able to yourself able to replicate against many of the models. So let us suppose you and me, so there are two persons, A and B, you and me, intend to play a game. And of course, a game of skill, whereby we have to think and, they will be solving puzzles, something like that. Anyone who, this is like a bet, but a game of a skill. Okay. So I say I will contribute 100. You say you will contribute 100. We both contribute 200 rupees in the pool, and whosoever will win will take the winnings away. 100 I contribute, 100 you contribute, you win or I win, we take the. So is there any requirement of paying GST on the same? So I don't think any GST is required to be paid, because what is the supply? What is the service? Who is rendering the service to whom? Both of us are playing game. Both of us are enjoying game. It's only that one of us will win. So if I win, I take the consideration. You win, you take the consideration. Though thereby the supplier and the receiver is not definite. Even if you say the person winning is the supplier, because he has supplied something. He has not supplied anything. He has received the amount, which cannot be consideration because there is no underlying services that he has referred. It is only with his knowledge that he has been able to win that bet. So ideally, per se, I believe there are not two persons involved. There are two persons involved in playing a game. The two persons are not involved in the relationship of supplier and recipient. So it's very, very important that two persons should be involved in case of supplier. One should supply and another should receive. If there is no supply, there is no consideration. There is no consideration, there is no value. There is no value, the transaction value is zero. There can be no GST. The entire the Supreme Court case of 1980s, BC Srinivasa Sethi in income tax said, if the valuation provision fails, then the entire law fails. So similarly, if the basic provisions of supply fails, there's no charge of dues. If you and me, please. Next, let me take this forward. Now, in this case, me and you, we are not able to play the game because I say, my family will not allow to play at my home. Your family will not allow to. So we find out a third friend. So third friend, we said, boss, we want to play at your home. He says, great, you can play, but you have to, pay me 10% of the total amount in the kitty. So which is, in this case, is 200 rupees. We said, great, thumbs up. We go there, we play there. 100 I contributed, 100 my friend contributed. And the third person, after the total, there was 200 in the pot. He deducted 10% as his remuneration, which is 20 rupees, and 180 the winner takes. So in this case, I understand the amount that a person has earned, the person who has rendered a service is not the players, but the person who has provided a platform. So he is charging a platform fee. So ideally, platform fee should be chargeable to tax, not the entire amount on which we are betting, which the Bangalore turf bet. Thereby, the 31 capital A is ultra vires. Now, let's come to the problem. What is the problem? So why are we discussing online gaming? So we are discussing so not only online gaming, but online gaming, race horses, betting, casinos. This presentation would be replicated to numerous industries, whereby lot of when I started doing GST came in 2017, there are a lot of searches and seizure in the case of casinos. A lot of them. Lot of scrutinies, assessments have already begun against various online companies. Various online companies are in high court against the clarity on this provision. So the problem is, in case of all these companies, casinos, online gaming companies, the moment I open my account, in order to play the game, I'll deposit some deposit some amount with the company itself. It could be the horse riding, or it could be casino, or it could be online, anything, all three of them. Department probably wants to tax this initial deposit, saying that it is an advance receipt for the supply of services. Because if from the point of view of department, you will see that yes, online gaming company would be giving the services of platform against which a deposit has been made. When the deposit has been made, the moment a deposit of 100 rupees has been made, they want to deduct 18% and the tax. So I personally believe that this is entirely incorrect provision or incorrect tax position that department has taken. I do not agree to this. In the recent past, I have done an assessment also, whereby we have won the case that initial deposit is not required to be charged tax. I am giving you 4 to 5 reasons for the same. First, there is no supply. When I deposit my money in the account of Amazon or any wallet, Paytm, or give it to my friend, so all these amounts does not indicate that the person has rendered a service. It is merely an actionable claim that a person is holding on my behalf. That's it, nothing more. The moment an amount is paid into a wallet, Paytm cannot utilize the amount that is. So if I have a balance in Paytm, that basically means I have reduced my bank account and give it to the Paytm, and the Paytm is holding that money in my account in a fiduciary relationship in which it cannot use that money for its own benefit. If you know the provisions of RBI says, if you are holding a money in wallet, then the similar amount is required to be parked in the bank account, in a particular bank account itself, which is under the lien, right? So I still hold that money. The amount shown in the wallets or as given as initial deposit is merely a merely actionable claim that the person holds. That's it. So thereby there is no supply. First, second reason, if you don't agree with this, so all these reasons I am giving you from the point of view or what you have to give it to a tax officer, because some point in time, if you're dealing with online companies, this is one question that is always asked. Secondly, this is only a money transaction. Money transactions are not chargeable to GST. I have not done any services. I have not taken any services. I have not given any services. What we have done is only a transfer of money. You may treat it as a loan. Third, if there is no supply, there cannot be a consideration. GST is required to be charged only and only on the value, and it has to satisfy all the conditions of the word consideration. If there is no consideration, there cannot be a GST. If there is no consideration, there cannot be an advance. If there is no supply, there cannot be advance. Right? In case of consideration, a direct nexus is required to be proved, which here it is not proved. Right? 2019, again, this famous judgment of Dream 11, it was said that, and I'm reading from the judgment itself, Honorable Bombay High Court held that the amount collected from the players pooled in an escrow account is an actionable claim, as the same is required to be distributed among the winning participant members as per the outcome of the game. So ये GST के अंदर ही केस लगा था. This was decision given by High Court. Very important. Please, I'll read it once again. This is the I suppose the best basis available to any online gaming company as on today. Amount collected from players. So it's talking about initial deposit pooled in an escrow account. So the moment an amount has been collected is always pooled in an escrow account. It's an actionable claim, as the same is to be distributed among the winning participants based upon the outcome of the game. Online gaming activity does not tantamount to lottery betting and gambling. This is the second rule. So this is a great ruling, and it is applicable across the board. It only has one problem. By showing this ruling, you can go scot-free. Initial deposit is not chargeable to GST. There is one problem. This ruling said the amount collected from players pooled in an escrow account. Because I am advising a couple of online gaming companies, it is extremely difficult for an online gaming company to open an escrow account, even if I've seen companies having turnover, or I'll say profits to the tune of 40 crore rupees or 50 crore rupees, they are not able to get this because the formalities are so much. They try one bank, they try second bank, and it takes them months and months and months. I've worked with a company which in last 2 years is not able to get this escrow account done. Even if they have huge cash flows, huge profit margin, they are being served by the best and the best of the consultants. It's just the legal part. It is extremely. So what do? They have to open a current account. And because they open a current account, it is not an escrow account whereby the company, actually I'm saying, can use the amount that has been received from the participants for its day-to-day operations. They can, no one stops them. There is no control. It is not under a lien. They may show it as a lien in their financial statement, but per se, this is not the case. So this ruling was said only and only. So if you have maintained an escrow account, this ruling is squarely applicable to. Although of course, department has gone into Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has dismissed the petition. However, Supreme Court said for GST, Union of India can file a review petition. I think they have filed a review petition. The solution is not out yet. The ruling is not out yet. So this is squarely applicable. No stay, no nothing you have. But if you are a starter in online gaming companies, it will be very difficult for you to open an escrow account. Two things I'll say. First, open a current account. Please, please, please don't use that money for the benefit of your day-to-day operations. It is, if even if once you have used it, this will create a problem. Maintain two separate bank accounts. The moment of money is received as initial deposit, park it in one account. Use it as an escrow account. Give instructions to the bank that this will always match with the amount shown as initial deposit. The moment a game is being played and the amount is being transferred, then only you churn up that money and transfer into different accounts, only to the extent of the platform fees that you have received. So please maintain a separate account of initial deposit and don't mix it in your day-to-day operations. This is my advice to you. So initial deposit, what are the issues that, so one is an escrow account, we have discussed at length. Second is game of skill. So the moment a tax officer comes to your office and he is able to prove that you are not doing a game of skill, you are doing a game of chance. So the problem is not only of the taxation that he will recover, he will go to Rule 31A because it is only in the Karnataka that has been ultra-wise, not in other states. So he will just pull up that and say it's a game of chance and you're required to pay GST on the gross amount. So please, and this will be only one problem. If it is a game of chance, it is per se not permitted. It is a criminal activity to distribute cash in case of game of chance. So please be sure that your game is a game of a skill. Uh, Maintain separate accounts. Don't use money that is parked in this account. And many a times it will be difficult for a tax officer at inspector level or superintendent level to make your model understand. Please be ready to go and approach the commissioners or assistant commissioners or deputy commissioners and explain them your model. uh, Especially the state officers does not have iota of knowledge of these sectors, so please be very careful when you represent. This we have discussed at length. Platform fees. Platform fees is absolutely chargeable to GST, and again the rate of tax shall be 18%. The normal route, the normal rate of tax is applicable. There's no problem. Yes. Now for features. So what happens? So in one of our clients that we were doing a health checkup, we noticed that there is a so that is a pretty old company. Last 3 or 4 years that company has been working, and after every 1 year they transfer a lot of money in inactive accounts. So that money, of course, they are not using, but they are transferring it to inactive accounts. And there was small money, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees that the people have left and maybe exited, maybe logged out, maybe not logged in ever. So the money has not been used for past couple of years. So if there is a forfeiture of cash balance, please note that this is chargeable to GST. And the important point is many online gaming companies does not even know that they have to pay GST. So first of all, they don't even forfeit. I'm saying if you forfeit, then you are required to pay GST. These online companies saying that they will not forfeit. The problem is the terms and conditions that every player would agree at the time of entry into the website is one of the clause would read that if you do not operate your account within a period of 365 days, then your money will be forfeited. So this is what your agreement. So in my case, this is what my agreement says. So if my agreement says that the money needs to be forfeited, but as a business decision you have not forfeited, does that free you up from the liability of paying GST? I do not believe. The moment your agreement have said that this needs to be forfeited, and post that there is no amendment to this agreement, which original signing of the agreement is in agreement with, legally saying this money should have been forfeited. Even if you have not forfeited, that does not prove that you are not liable to pay GST. So please be careful if you are forfeiting any cash balance, or even if you are not, but your agreement says that after such and such period, this amount needs to be forfeited, then that means the amount needs to be forfeited and GST should be paid. So why? So many people will ask, where is the supply of? So the supply of service is the relinquishment of the right. There is a right. There is a right of that person in the money lying in your account, which he has relinquished under the terms and conditions of the agreement, and whereby there is a clause with regard to act of tolerance for the breach of terms and conditions, because one of the terms and conditions says you have to regularly log into your account. If not regularly, once every year you have to log into your account. Even if you do not do that, meaning thereby you are breaching the terms of the agreement. If you are breaching the terms of an agreement, you are required to be charged a monetary value for the act of forbearance, for the act of tolerance of such an act. So thereby, this will become consideration. It will become supply. Of course, this AR Gujarat Fast Track Deal Communications have said that amount forfeited on account of non-fulfillment of the conditions of the agreement will be covered under clause 5E, which is again the tolerance of the act, and it will be chargeable to. So irrespective of what rate you are paying in your business, if it is a tolerating an act, it is the GST is always 18%. Some of you would also remember the concept of liquidity damages, widely litigated under GST, ARs, AAARs, and some cases have also reached High Court. So very standard ruling is coming that it is chargeable to GST as a total rating in act. So yes, so up till now this was online gaming. Now we come to the very crucial aspect of how bonuses and promotions need to be made. So first of all, please understand there are three types of bonuses that we have seen company giving. So any kind of you today download an app or feed in your credentials, first bonus you are being given welcome bonus. The moment you go, you get 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 200 points, 500 points in your account, in your wallet the moment you log in. Next is referral. If you are welcomed here, then you refer our website to any other person, then you get a referral bonus. The third is if you have been constantly using our website over a period of time, then you get a loyalty bonus. So all these bonuses, I'll chuck, bundle them up and say these are bonuses. So anything that is bonus, the tax treatment would be simple. The tax treatment would be same. So I have tried, rather than giving you all in written format, I have taken up my practical exposure and converted it into a single slide in this table, whereby I say that if you are giving away bonus, which is redeemable in cash, meaning thereby I am an online gaming company. I tell you, please log on to my website. The moment you log into my website, I'll give you 200 rupees cash. Meaning whether you play in my website or not, I'll just give you 200 rupees cash. I'm sending you a check of 200 rupees. So that this 200 rupees is only, as an online gaming company, only an expense to me. This is not my income. I have not earned anything out of it. This is standard expense that I have incurred. Thereby, there is no implication of GST on the same. I'll simply book an expense, park it, and pay it to you. Nothing else. Bonus given in cash. In cash or in cash wallet. So many times what happens, we don't give cash directly, but we say we have credit to a wallet. Please use it for howsoever you want to. If you don't want to use it, you can exit and we'll transfer the money in your bank account. So cash ideally means bank also. The next part of bonus is whereby it is not redeemable in cash. So there are two types: cash and non-cash. Cash we have discussed, non-cash we are coming. In the case of non-cash, the first part could be the second part. The first part I'll do later. Second part would be scratch vouchers, whereby I say if you log on to my website, if you open an account with me, if you play games with my business, then for next 3 months or next 6 months, we'll give you a 10% discount on Amazon. So not my website, but some other website. Whatever you buy on Amazon, whatever you go and watch a movie in PVR, whenever you buy a new laptop from Dell, you get a 10% flat discount. These are non-redeemable in cash. I'll get a discount, but I'll not get anything back. Or if you get this, you'll get a voucher. You go to McDonald's and take a burger. Free burger is available. No charges, zero. So all these are just expenses of the company, which I am paying expense. I am giving it to directly Amazon. To this benefit shall be given to my customers, and no GST on the same. I'm again not earning anything. Next part. So if I give a cash to you in your wallet, I'll give a money to you. However, I'll tell you it is not redeemable in cash. I'll tell you what happens when you go to a casino in Goa. When you pay, when you pay them 1,000 rupees, they take it as an entry fee, and against they give you 1,000 rupees tokens also. If you do not play any game with those tokens, they are automatically forfeited. You cannot take those tokens back. But if you do play and win, then after the first win, these tokens are converted into cash. Meaning thereby, let me repeat, we have paid 1,000 rupees at a casino in Goa for the entry. On the entry, you get a just entry. And for 1,000 rupees, they'll give you some tokens also, which will be differently colored than the normal tokens. Those tokens cannot be redeemed in cash. Those tokens can only be played with. You can play. If you win, then you get cash. Otherwise, you don't get it. So again, if I am giving you free tokens, come and play, then also there is no expense on my side. If there is no expense on my side, there is no charge. So in short, whenever you're giving a bonus, because you're giving something, you are not taking anything, there is no GST on this. So now many of you would be thinking, why did I discuss in such a big detail if the answer is so simple? So guys, the part that I have marked in gray area, it's actually a gray area. Let me just pull it forward. So I have, so these are redeemable in cash, redeemable in not cash, scratch. These are very, very clear. Only the gray area I want to discuss in detail, right? So moving to the next slide. When a bonus was given to me and I was required to play a game, there can be two situations. First, I played a game. I lost. Second, I played a game, I won. Second, I didn't play a game. So let's first of all do the easier part whereby I didn't play a game at all. In case I didn't play a game, then, so guys, please, I hope this you guys will appreciate. This is a very, very detailed slide and probably the most difficult one, whereby all the companies are facing problems. And I promise after this session, you will never face a problem in understanding this. Whereby the game is not played. I got certain coupons, I got certain tokens, which belongs to me. I didn't play any game with that, right? So what will happen? I cannot take those tokens back home. They are worthless. I cannot redeem in cash. I'll go to the counter and I say, I don't want to use that money. Kindly retain them, meaning thereby please forfeit them. Two situations will arise. Those tokens were conditional tokens, meaning thereby those tokens were given to me, but they were dependent upon certain condition. The conditions could be anything. You know, if you stay in our casino for 2 hours, then only you will be able to play with them. If you want to play big games, then only you will be able to use them. Or you want to play the roulette, then only you will be able to. There are some conditions attached. If these are conditional bonuses which have been forfeited, then there is no problem. Because in case of conditional bonuses, the bonus tokens does not belong to the user. It originally belongs to the company itself. So meaning thereby there is no problem of forfeiture, no entry required in GST returns, no entry required anywhere. It's a conditional bonus which has been forfeited. If it is an unconditional bonus, meaning thereby there was a certain right entitlement from me which I have transferred to you, which is unconditionally yours. Now you have forfeited, now you have given it back to me and I have forfeited the same, meaning thereby the title of such bonus which belongs to is being transferred to me. Of course, there is no consideration. In this case, I'm not paying any consideration to you. I agree with this, but there is a supply. And under section 15, there is a clause with regard to related party transactions whereby a deemed open market value could also be assigned. So what I'm saying is it could be litigated by tax authorities. I'm not saying this is the right position in law, but what I'm telling you, my dear chartered accountant friends, please advise, go back to your clients and tell them if you are giving unconditional bonuses, you are inviting tax authorities and tax litigation. Rather than doing this, we would say just add 1 or 2 clauses in your terms and conditions and make all those bonuses conditional bonuses whereby the title does not belong to the person on the first day itself. It is very, very important to ensure that bonuses are always conditional bonuses and not unconditional. This is just to reduce the risk at a business will. Okay. If the game is not played, then these are the conditions. What happens if the game is played? Now let us take a practical situation. I have 100 bonus points. I have 100 token points. You have 100 rupees on your account. We both play a game. I give 100 bonus, you give 100 rupees, total 200. Out of that 200 rupees, 10% is the platform fees, meaning thereby 10% of 200, which is 20 rupees. This is what my earnings is. So GST practically shall be chargeable in the 20 rupees itself. One or two alternative tax positions that people want to give. First of all, there is a segment of people who say, because 100 rupees is what I have given to you. This is free of cost. There is no value associated with it. I cannot earn something out of myself which does not belong to me. So there is no platform fees which I can earn out of the monies that I have given it to. Thereby remove 100 rupees. I will be charging only and only on 100, 10% of that 100. So the fees that comes to me is 10 rupees. This is what the amount I will pay GST on. This is second tax position. First is paid on the entire 20 rupees. Second is paid on the 10 rupees. There is a third level of people which say my platform fees is 20 rupees, where I have already given the bonus of 100 rupees. Thereby I am minus 80. I will not pay GST on any amount. My GST amount for a value shall be 0. I think third case is absolutely wrong. There is no doubt about it. Most of the companies, good bigger companies, are following the route of first, whereby they are paying on the gross value irrespective of the bonuses given. One of the very big challenge and risk involved in this is that the bonuses and promotions are so regularly given in these online companies, it is practically infeasible for them to maintain a chart of every such bonus given. It is in the system, but when we compute for every player, it is very difficult. The report runs into lakhs and lakhs of player and crores of transactions. So very difficult. And these bonuses are given very regularly. In fact, I'll tell you, I played one of the games on a very big platform. So I played it with only, I suppose, 10 rupees or so. So even if you have lost, even if you 2 lakh people were playing and you were in the last 1000, still you'll get at least 1 rupee or 2 rupee bonus. So everyone, even the loser, will get a bonus, right? So it's very difficult. A. B. These online gaming companies, these are, all are startups and they all want to push up their top lines. And for them, not showing, so part two, whereby I'm not charging on my fees itself, it becomes very difficult for them to lower their top lines. That is why they are not challenging this position. They're still being. I believe taxes can be saved in this position. I don't know whether top line would be managed or not, but there is always a position in this whereby, again, with this going back to the same, this conditional and non-conditional bonuses. With the help of conditional bonuses, we may be able to save tax, but there are three parties involved in this. First is a chartered accountant, which will be an advisor. Second is a legal expert whom we want to be on board for vetting the legal agreements. And third is the probably someone from the operations, the business side, who can actually say that the players will continue to buy the game story and it will not impact the businesses. So these three people put together in a room for a couple of hours, I think taxes can be saved. However, as of now, I have not seen any company who is willing to get their top lines reduced, even if they say huge taxes. So, yep. Okay. Sukhjit ji, how many questions up till now we have? Okay, I think she's not there. Sukhjit ji, how many questions do we have? If you can probably just type it in chat box. So guys, for online gaming companies, this was the most difficult topic that can be discussed, right? Now we have completed that. Most likely online gaming companies is being complete. And let's move forward. So there are a lot of key sources of income: advertising, gambling, play to free. So these are all tax rates. 18, in gambling is always 28. So these are the rates. So, now it's very, very important to understand what my GST council is saying for the entire online gaming companies. So 35th GST council meeting agenda was very clear. The four sectors: casinos, horse racing, online gaming, betting. They said, first of all, we have to decide the tax rates, because in number of cases, the tax rate in casinos, if you say gambling, it's 28. If you say it's not gambling, it's 18. So GST council said we need to decide the tax rate, and it has to be a standard rate across the board, whether 28 or 18. Secondly, there was a request made by the industry that the value under sections 15 shall be the value retained by the casino or the horse racing totalizer or the online gaming company after giving prize money, meaning thereby the GST needs to be charged on the net value that has been retained by such agencies, not on the gross. So rule 31A3, the agenda was put as a request against that. 37th GST Council meeting, a lot of states were invited to share their views on this. So first state that we are discussing is Gujarat. Gujarat state officially said that government is losing around 500 crores per annum due to the existing GST law, which has led to illegal wagering of bookies near race. If you remember, I have said that, on the face value, on the initial deposit, GST needs to be charged. So Gujarat government said we are losing 500 crores in revenue per year because people have stopped going to the wagers, the organized ones, and they have opened up spaces in unorganized sector outside the race horse. Now they said there are two options. They also, so Gujarat is also number one, giving options. They gave the options as a solution. They said, first of all, the GST shall be charged on the value minus the prize money that has been paid out. This is the internationally accepted practice. Option number two, they said we can pay GST on the. They said we can pay GST on the 30% of the face value of the bet, meaning thereby the deemed valuation that we see in the real estate industry also, they say implement the same part and tax 30% of the total taxable. GST policy wing at that point in time, 37th GST council meeting, accepted the second option of charging GST 30% of the tax. TRU, which is the tax research unit, suggested that 30% of the total taxable value in case of online gaming companies should be put to tax. So they said, although they want it to be 30% of the tax, but the tax rate they want shall be 28% with a compensation cess of 115. So more than 140% of tax is what they want. So that they say, in short, the total amount should be put to tax. If we'll not put the total amount to put to tax, if we'll reduce the value, then we'll increase the tax. This is what they said. This is tax research unit of government itself. Goa gave options. Again, option one, they say again the commission or the participation fees should be put to tax. Whatever the participation fees you are charging, please put to tax. In all other cases, whatever the value retained by the entire operator at the, I think they said at the end of the day, by the, so every day they say you compute profits at the end of the day, and whatever the profits of a casino are at the end of the day, kindly. So they didn't even said put, so GST is transaction wise. For every transaction you need to charge GST. In this case, state of Goa said Don't put it on transaction wise, put it at the day end, whatever the final earning of the day is at midnight 12. This is the amount on which GST needs to be paid. Option 1. Option 2, they said the second option is for entry into the casino, please charge GST on the 100 amount. In case of gambling and betting, let's finalize the 30% at the deemed valuation part on which GST needs to. And of course, they accepted that GST rate should be more than 40%, 140%, 28% GST, and 115% should be the cess. From Maharashtra, IFSG, Indian Federation of Sports Gaming, gave a very, very relevant, I think, appreciable validation. First of all, they said platform fee should be charged to tax. Whatever the platform is charging as a platform, no GST is being paid by technology platform on prize pool contribution. So whatever the prize pool has been collected and contributed, there is no GST paid in any jurisdiction over the world. This is the internationally accepted tax practice, and because this is never a taxable supply. So the committee also recommended that gross gaming revenue should be put to tax. And when they say gross gaming, they don't mean gross gaming, they mean net gaming, whereby the total amount played minus the winnings distributed by the company should be put to tax. Very, very important fact is what they stated. The Commissioner of Mumbai, Maharashtra Central stated that on 15 July 2019, that revenue is already losing 1697 crores for Dream 11 ruling itself. So like एक ruling की वजह से 1700 करोड़ रुपए घाटा सिर्फ महाराष्ट्र को रेवेन्यू का. 38 GST Council meeting कुछ वैसी बातें करी गई. Casino, horse racing and online gaming. The taxes should be charged on the value net of winnings. The taxes should not be charged on the gross amount. Yes. So what happened if just let me take you back, because then only we'll be able to appreciate this slide. If we'll go to the first slide, what has happened, and whereby we were, let me just take you back to this slide. If you remember, then in starting we said under the service tax regime, the taxes on game of skill was chargeable to service tax, whereas lottery betting gambling was not chargeable to service tax. It will move, the game of skills are chargeable to GST, and other than games of skill, which is lottery betting and gambling, would not be chargeable to GST. The main point for every tax payer is to make sure that they are able to prove that their game is not a game of chance, there is a game of skill. 31A is applicable only and only in case your game is a lottery, betting, gambling, or race horsing. So if you'll remember, first of all, we have to prove that our game is not a game of a chance, which is, our game is not a lottery, betting, and gambling. We are moved out of 31A. But for race horses, this is a problem. And this is the case whereby Bangalore Turf Club has given a judgment that this is ultra virus. The case is in Supreme Court. Initial deposit, we have to save initial deposit from taxes. I think it is a very good ruling of Bombay High Court 2019 Dream 11, whereby it is being absolutely in the favor of the taxpayer. But the only problem is with regard to the escrow account. Platform fees is clear, forfeiture of player balance is clear, and bonus and promotion was a difficult topic, whereby it was very, very clear when we are giving a bonus, whether it is redeemable in cash. So one point more that is, I would like to state here, bonus when it is redeemable in cash or it is not redeemable in cash, in both the cases, there is no GST impact. Please don't confuse it with the taxation of vouchers. That will absolutely, because today morning itself, there is, I think, some other ruling coming from appellate authority, whereby there was a discussion about scratch vouchers and taxation of vouchers. So I will just, that part, please don't confuse when we are talking about vouchers. Let me, just give you one example. How does it practically happen? So I have a company, ABC Private Limited, which is into online gaming companies, and they intend to give a discount coupon of 10% to all the people who play on their portal, right? Now they want to give a 10% discount on the entire value of the amount that they purchase. Also for Amazon, if they purchase goods worth rupees 1 lakh, then they will be given 10% discount, right? So let us, okay, all right, all right, perfect. So what happens? How does this deal happen? So if I have my ABC Company Limited, I'll go to Amazon and I'll tell them that I need a particular code, a particular discount code whereby my people will be given 10% discount on your website. So normally it moves like, Amazon will tell them, please estimate the number of users that you have. Please estimate their billing transaction. Based upon that, Amazon will reach a value of, let's suppose, 10 crores. So Amazon will tell them, I will charge you a standard 10 crore rupees for giving that kind of benefit. Maybe not even 10% is very high. I'll give you 5%, that to 250 rupees maximum in one transaction. This is how these guys talk. And 10 crore rupees is what I charge you, right? So in this case, Amazon will raise an invoice of 10 crore rupees for maybe publicity, marketing, or advertising charges, whatever they want to, and then give them a code, a script which will be run on their website, and every person who will pull, use that coupon on the website of Amazon will be given a discount of 5% maximum up to 250 rupees on the website of Amazon. So this discount per se will not be borne by ABC Limited. ABC Limited has nothing to do with the discount that is being offered by Amazon. This is a standard transaction between you and Amazon, as a player and Amazon, and there is no impact of this transaction on ABC Limited. The only impact of transaction on ABC Limited is that they have paid 10 crore rupees to Amazon, on which the GST is payable to Amazon, and probably this is a business expense they will claim in input. So the transaction between Amazon and the player will be separate. The transaction between the player and ABC Limited will be the separate, and transaction between ABC Limited and Amazon will again be separate. So there will be three different legs of transactions which we cannot mix and match. So no question of vouchers in this. I have just known. So similarly, many people say if there's a free burger given, right? So what happens again? ABC Limited will go to Amazon and tell them we want to buy, 500 burgers in advance from you, and we can give it to anyone. And whosoever produces this code to you, you have to give them a free burger. So what will happen? They will charge the ABC Limited, maybe not only for 500 burgers, but something for advertising, something for promotion also. They will do a billing, they will collect their money and issue 500 coupons or vouchers. Those 500 coupons or vouchers will be distributed across to their clientele. Their clientele will go to the McDonald's, and no billing would be done and no GST would be charged. Again, the transaction of getting a free burger and giving a free burger is between the McDonald's and the recipient of that coupon, and not between the ABC Limited. So this is, one of the part whereby I clarify the scratch vouchers issue. I think the game played or not played, we have clarified. So the major issue, where do we see the biggest issue in online gaming companies? The biggest issue with online gaming companies would be Rule 31A, capital A, sub rule 3 is confusing, that the GST shall be charged on the 100% of the face value, even though that clause exists not for the betting and gambling, only for the betting and gambling. It is not applicable for the game of skill. However, I've seen in many and many of the cases, especially where the taxes are pulled up by the state tax officers, they get into this regime whereby taxes are recovered from authorities or from the individuals under that rule only, even though it is not applicable per se. If you say it's a lottery betting and gambling, then per se the state will not allow you to do the transactions. So this is one case, and One more query that has been regularly asked from me is that if, let me just go back on this. Okay, place of supply. So this is the, if you look at this slide, I have discussed the place of supply of services only with regard to India, and I have not discussed anything with regard to outside India. There is no case that I have discussed with regard to outside. So what is the reason for the same? So the reason for the same is very simple. Uh, the local laws with regard to lottery betting and gambling are very, very restrictive world over. Every country has his own set of rules and regulations. And I'll tell you, there are two kinds of companies that operate in India. First, a country that has itself prepared the software of lottery betting and gambling. In case the company itself has prepared or made, or they hold the entire IP rights, then they do their businesses only and only in India. They do not do outside India because they are not compliant with the regulations, conditions of each state. They do not have knowledge of any of the states. So if one of my companies, they are interested in going to countries like Japan or China, but in that case they will not be operating from the Indian entity. They will be operating from the outside entity. They will open up an entity there, and then they will operating because they have to comply with local laws. Indian entity per se does not have any knowledge. So if we look at the any portal, they will always say people from India can purchase. The moment an IP is punched from outside India, they will block your website and they'll not permit you because they do not have the knowledge of local laws of that state. Second, there are a league of people who have purchased these websites. So there are already existing websites for lottery betting and gambling. And for example, one of my clients has purchased this website from Japan. So that Japanese company has made a single this game of skill website and has sold it to multiple people across the jurisdiction. So but they always limit the jurisdiction that only people from India can purchase, play people from Pakistan cannot purchase play. So they will sell off these websites to various jurisdiction and limit the scope. So in short, what I'm telling you, people from Indian online gaming or lottery betting, and because they are all sitting on the verge, I don't know what is betting in India and what is betting in abroad. So they always limit their scope and do not go beyond. Similarly, outside companies, if they want to come to India, they do not per se open their portal and permit Indian people to operate. They will sell off their or give the IP of their website to someone in India and ask them to operate on their behalf. So that is why I have dealt with place of supply of services only in India. Nothing more, nothing beyond. This we have covered this also. The problem major. So one of the major problems is the value related part, on what a value GST needs to be charged. Of course, the rate is, if it is a gambling activity, rate is 28%. Otherwise, the rate is 18%. But the main component is what will happen to the value, and what value GST needs to be charged. So this is the last slide of my presentation, whereby in May 2021, Ministry of Finance has issued an office memorandum regarding the constitution of GOM. If you will notice that the entire decision is taken by GST Council, and what rates to increase, what rates to decrease, etc., etc. Because GST Council is the council whereby every state has one voting right, one member, and having a communication across 40-50 odd people with their ministers and with their secretaries is extremely impossible. So whenever a high importance decision is required to be taken, these committees are formed whereby 6 to 7 people, from 6 to 7 very, very interested. So for in this case, I think Maharashtra, Bangalore and Gujarat, these are the three states which are, so I think Gujarat is running point on this, whereby they form 6 to 7 people in the group, and they are required to do a lot of research around this and then finalize the draft paper that will be submitted to the GST Council for decision. So the entire decisions, etc., background working is done by these. So every time the tax rates change, or every time the majorly a law change, it is done by GOM only, constitutional GOM. So in pursuance of the decision taken by GST Council, this group of ministers have been formulated on 3A: casinos, racehorses, and online gaming. So only these three agencies. This GOM is, like I was saying, 6-7 members. So there are 7 members, and they are given 4 tasks. First of all, to examine the issue of valuation of service. They are required to examine that what is the issue. Second, taxability of certain transactions in casinos with reference to the current legal provisions and order of court into the writ. Because I was telling you, there are a lot of search and seizures that happened in casino between 2017 and 18, and they have a problem with Rule 31 capital A. So thereby the transaction needs to be studied. Third is to examine whether any change is required. Better means of valuation of this service in the legal provisions to adopt any better means of valuation of these services. So whether any change is required in the law itself. When they say law, it means rules also. That whether any change is required to come at a better means of valuation of services. Fourth, they were required to examine the administration of valuation provision. If you'll notice, the state of Goa had advised that the profit on a daily basis should be calculated and put to tax. The profit on daily basis, if calculated, it cannot be calculated at 9 p.m. It has to be calculated exact at 12th hour. And these casinos are 24/7. How will the officers control so many taxpayers, not only in Goa but the entire country out there at 12 exact? So they said there are 4 parts: issue of valuation, casino point, better method of valuation, and of course what you have to look into the administrative part of such valuation provision. Is there a problem in administration of such valuation provision? Not. Based upon this, GOM shall submit its recommendation to the council within a period of 6 months. So this was formulated in May. I expect the report should have been submitted by December. As of now, I have no knowledge whether the report has been submitted or not. But I think this GOM is the final nail in the coffin, whereby we'll get into the final decision as to what is required to be done with regard to all these high-powered agencies. So guys, going forward, I have pulled up these 4 countries worldwide. So Malaysia, how is GST charged? So in Malaysia, the GST is charged on the gross amount after reducing the cash payouts to winner. So whatever you have paid to winner, it will not be chargeable. It has to be reduced from the cash. In the state of Malta, the revenue less winnings. So whatever revenue they have earned, reduced by the winnings. In Macau, so Macau is a big gaming center operating under the Chinese subcontinent. Gross gaming revenue is the difference. So everyone says gross gaming revenue, but it is not gross. It is the net, is the difference between the ticket sales and the premium paid. European Union, it is a total amount staked by a customer less the value of winnings paid out to another customer. So in all these 4 places, Malaysia, Malta, Macau, and EU, it is very clear the taxes under indirect taxes, whether it's VAT or GST, is always paid on the net value retained by the supplier and not on the gross amount, and not on the basis of the rule what 31 capital A sub rule 3 says. So guys, this is about from my side. If we have queries, we can discuss.
Yes, sir. There is one query which I will read it out for you. Someone has asked that to explain with example conditional and unconditional bonus chargeability difference due to bonus condition.
Okay. Yes, sir. So this is what. So when game is played, I'm not on mute. So when the game is played and you are being given a bonus, think about a case whereby I tell you that these 10 coins. Let me give you the example of casino only. These 10 coins belongs to you. You can either play with them or either return it to me. It does not matter. Belongs to you. The title belongs to you unconditionally. Whereas I tell them that these 10 coins that I've given it to you, so the earlier was unconditional. Now I'm giving you conditional bonus. I tell you that these 10 coins belong to you. However, these cannot be played with for next 30 minutes in this casino. Or many times, if you think, many a times, yes, this is a great example. Many times you go to a shop and you buy something from Shoppers Stop, and they will tell you that, boss, if you buy this, we'll give you a 10% discount coupon, but this is valid only on the next visit, not on this visit. So if I give you a bonus saying that these are the 10 coins that you can play only not today, but tomorrow, so this become conditional. Or I tell you that these 10 coins belong to you, but you cannot play these 10 games with it. You can play only these 3 games with it. So you have to make the title defective. When we say conditional, it means the title has become defective and you do not have an utmost right or the clean right to it. It is a defective title. So whatever you do, whether it's race horsing or probably in online gaming. So online gaming also, because we are doing a session on online gaming. If you give me a bonus and you tell me that you cannot use it for next 2 months, we can use it thereafter. Or probably you cannot use it for my cricket games, but you can only use it for my rummy games. Or you can only use it when you play game above 1000 rupees. So you make all these title of bonuses defective, which is a conditional bonus. Ma'am, any other question that we have?
Not yet. I haven't received any more questions from the participants. I would like to call CA Bharajanji for the vote of thanks for the first session, sir. Bharajanji, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you, Sukhjit ji. I would, on behalf of Sahib branch of NIRC of ICAI and CP committee of ICAI, I would like to thank C. Rajat Mohan ji, who have explained us on the topic online gaming, GST implication on online gaming. Thank you, sir. आपने टाइम दिया ब्रांच के लिए, मेंबर्स के लिए.
Thank you so much, Bharatji. Thank you so much.
Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajatji. It was a wonderful deliberation by you.
Thank you, ma'am.